You can teach people a lot of things, but you can't teach them to see, huh? You recognize her face from Hope's film. Finally, you met Cara Montgomery in the flesh. She turns to you, puts on a wide smile, and shakes your hand with a firm grip. First, a representative of Sophie Langley, now a representative of Hope. Not the way I would develop my own career, but I gotta say, not many neonates get around the way you do. Oddly fucking yeah. Hope speaks up in your ear for the first time, seething with contempt. Although Cara couldn't possibly have heard her, she immediately goes to address her absence. Can't say I expected her to actually arrive here with you or instead of you. On the other hand, I'm sure every single word I say will be instantly relayed to. And for the first time in forever, your empty blabbering will serve an actual useful cause. So let me make sure we cut out everyone but the middleman for a while, okay? She takes out her phone and taps the touch screen in a few seconds. The barely perceptible buzzing sounds in your ear disappear completely. You can't hear Hope anymore. It's probable she can't hear your voice right now either, which would mean she must be busy raging and cursing out everything in her sight at the moment. This obviously wasn't something she expected to happen. Could it be that Cara thought through your plan? You have to play it cool and see what happens next. Knowing Hope, you have probably heard whatever scraps can be Google about me, and a pipe insults for a good measure. Obviously, I know everything that's to be known about you as well, serial killer. I don't believe we have a need for formal introductions, but first off, let me apologize for the discomfort my former employees caused you. I wasn't remotely aware of this planned action against Hope. I fully condemn them. I'm glad to see you unharmed. And of course, applaud your swift disposal of the cycle. Langley chose you well. Brief silence. So let me cut to the chase here. Present myself the best way I know how, through my ideas. Who do you think has a monopoly on reality? Not much for small talk, is she? Who do you think has a monopoly on reality? The corporations. That's a very typical answer, very 21st century sounding. Have they succeeded in replacing the tail here though? She signals to someone behind you. For a while you've been watched by Cara's men who circle around the staircase. Presumably her ghouls. One of them set up downstairs. You know, Bolivia just had a military coup. Hundreds of new accounts posting about nothing but Bolivian politics in English set out to convince every random person on the USA wasn't to blame. Sloppy work, if you ask me. Now imagine this: a 17 years old K-pop fan from Ohio doing an entire thread about how her relatives in La Paz are actually glad the president is gone. A film reviewer with side interest in politics selling you a CIA-approved narrative about Evo Morales. An approachable Finnish guy explains the city to you in simple terms, just like it is. Animated voice, expressive gesture, and steady eye contact. She's taught herself how to project a good image, but isn't natural yet. At times, it feels as if she was screaming at you to trust her. It's not hard to emulate the mass. Reach out to one of those Eastern European troll farms. Bang, a few hours later, you have a clone army that will instantly voice the support for any cause. You will spread your message, but you won't foster a new culture that serves your goals. You won't masquerade your messaging as independent thought. For that, you need personalities, not the mass. But getting to emulate personalities, that's a whole different ballpark. Not a craft, but an art. You need to understand your fabrication so deeply you start to hate it, and then learn to love it. And if you want to make a bunch of those personalities to follow one agenda, you need a once-in-a-lifetime team to achieve that. A like-minded artistic collective, both ambitious and obedient. Even though you can't hear Hope's voice in your ear right now, you could swear you hear her in Cara's speech. It's the exact same tone she was using when monologuing in the car. One of them must have been a big influence on another. Or perhaps they used to be in a position where they were both shaping each other's personas. Hard to say, only one thing is for sure. And that is, Hope must be absolutely furious right now. Is it possible Cara knew about her plot? Fingers crossed, she didn't. The state is satisfied when an account that went unused for 5 years suddenly started yelling imperialist propaganda into the void. The aging corporations are too set in their ways. They imagine a fresh startup that enables proliferation of ideas adjacent to the principles for the future. Now imagine it getting into bed with the biggest corporations and agencies. So many lives that could be improved or even saved from the race of first light. I have the infrastructure, I have the elder support. All I need now is a mastermind at the center of it all. Hope. Yes, Hope. She looks down and takes this scenery below for a while. Then she points at her t-shirt, one piece of clothing that's clashing with the rest of her outfit. You know, I'm a huge fan of punk. The leading idea of my company, Double Spiral, is to make everything I do a little bit punk. I'm all about clash ideas, I'm all about disruption. You wink a few times in quick successions. Oh god, you think to yourself, she's that kind of person. You've seen a lot of them in your own life. Another establishment asshole co-opting everything anti-establishments, blasting Fugazi while running lives via Excel spreadsheets. You might have punched a boss cut out of the same plot once. You collect yourself and escape the memory lane. Cars start talking about Hope, so you better listen. To me, Hope is as punk as it gets, a fierce spirit, fiercely independent, an internal conjurer at odds with everything and everyone, developing her talents just because she finds it joyful. But God, that this girl needed guidance. Not putting her talents to a better use, rotting away, posting inane bullshit all the time. What a waste. I have built an environment specifically to develop her talents and to let her become indispensable to our society. But she rejects it because of some idiotic hang-ups. I don't expect you to change your mind about me just because I kept yapping and yapping. I just hope you will keep my perspective in mind and serve as a voice of reason Hope really needs right now. Now that I had my say, how about we put our girl back on? She taps on her phone again. A silent buzz reappears in your right ear. Remain silent. 5 extreme long seconds of radio silence. I'm here, keep talking. Don't worry, she should have heard everything. I just want to spare you an annoying commentary track while I introduce myself. Excuse me for a second. One of Cara's guards approached to show something on his phone. Hope you use the distraction to get you up to speed with how the things are on her side. Yeah, for a second there I was about to rush that has gotten the bad apples, but hey, go figure, she just wanted to take a piss in my Cheerios, the plain walk. I've got a lot of data for monologuing and some private source, but the more we get, the better. The displays here says some more K letters should be useful. So don't beat yourself bad if you fail, but if you get her to repeat something with K in it, that might improve our defect voice. Looks like Cara's done talking to the guard. Sorry about that. Looks like I've got to send a meeting with a Google representative to attend shortly. Hope's not bragging though. By the way, does anyone at Hope know about this little rendezvous? A patron, any other companion, or maybe the Masquerade? Nobody. It's just us. Should I have told anyone? Maybe, maybe not. It's just a lot about your personality, that's all. Anyway, no offense, but since Hope's not here, I really have to rush Honestly, I feel a little insulted. She set up this meeting and didn't even bother to show up. Insulted and suspicious, her tone of voice betrays. She might have some good instinct. Too bad she didn't trust them here. Still, out of respect for Langley, I decided to have this talk with you. To explain to you why I'm an asset to Camarilla and to explain why the editor needs hope by my side. Wait for me, it's just a little bit, guys. What the one brain hack here forgot to mention is that the others don't give a shit about me. Even if you don't see it my way now, I believe I've sown some seeds. Yeah, that's my sprout in the near future. Double spiral looks out for people who look out for it is all I'm saying. But before I leave, you know, there's one thing I really wish I knew. Back when I knew her, she was a different person, or different people, depending on how you look at it. How does she fight against me so much? What's her motivation to resist so much? What's her motivation? Good questions. She has never shared with you. Answer whatever you want, but A, better lie through your teeth. B, get her to say V a few times if you can. It might improve a few shortcomings in our deepfake software. What's your answer? Love? Oh, this will receive the V thingy. Love, I think. Cara blinks, opens her mouth, and then shuts it, then she scoffs. Nonsense. Of course, it's what she sounds like she was trying to convince herself. Something about your answer resonates with her. One of Cara's people erupts with a theatrical cough. Cara gestures seem to calm down. I really need to rush now, see you around Sarah came here. She begins to walk down the stairs, surrounded by her guards. Once she's gone from before your eyes, Hope decides to summarize your missions. For the love of Christ, wish you could have kept her droning on for a little longer. Turns out the tea later could use some improvements as well. Not complaining though, you did good and don't worry. The data I have should be more than enough to generate a convincing deepfake. I just need to put in some more work. So I guess I'll get to that right away. Enjoy the rest of your night. Drop my hardware in your haven when you get the chance. I'll let you know when ready to hit Cara's base of operations. Pray for my success, sweetie, and it might be done soon, maybe even tomorrow. And once we're done with her, we'll talk about how I can repay your generosity. Amen. The connection drops. It looks like that's over now. You gaze at the sea of lights around you for the last time, and then start making your way back to the street level. I can't do anything now. I have to rest. Oh my god, why are there so many people here? Holy shit. A nosy reporter. She could use your help with the problem. Fate and myth. Double spiral. Yeah, I want to finish this kind of side quest for Hope first. Hope's police scribble. Message reached you in your haven. Within an unmarked envelope, you find a barely legible address you're supposed to reach and the hour you expected to arrive there. This is it then, the night of the final showdown. You check the clock. There's one more than enough time to comfortably reach your destination, but you decide to take a drive early just in case. The ride is uneventful, but it becomes more and more tense as it goes on. The gravity of the situation starts getting to you. You are about to set out on an operation against a key NYC figure, well connected with both human and vampire elites. What if her security overwhelms you? How would the council react to your raid? You can only trust her past Toreador. True, she doesn't seem like a type who would attempt a suicidal missions, which is something you typically normally say about a person who regularly attempts to shoot herself in the head. When you arrive at your destination, you find yourself in front of a building with a double spear logo on it. That must be Montgomery's headquarters. You look around the street and notice an obnoxiously lavender Mazda car parked nearby, even though you have never seen it before. But you might have an idea who it belongs to. You park your own car at a distance from the double spear building and approach the Mazda. A familiar figure is behind the wheel, holding a smartphone in her hand. You knock on the window. She opens the window without turning her eyes from the device. Wow, you're early. What are you writing? My last will and testament. She lets the dead silence linger in the air for 10 seconds, then she stops typing, divert her eyes from the screen, gives you a melancholy stare, and winks. Psych. God damn it. Come on, what's with that face? I suffer from too much FOMO to let myself die. I've got accounts around notifications to check. Plus, knowing how I would allow Montgomery the satisfaction of a draw. We're going there to secure a flawless victory. No time to wait, let's go. She gets out of the car and motions you to walk with her. Anyhow, why'd you manage to make sense of my ugly scrapbooks? I totally forgot how exhausting it is to arrive stop my hand. Still not as exhausting as having to deliver messages personally to someone's door. Next time you meet Lane, ask her to get you a flip phone or something, okay? You reach the front of the building. We're about to burn this shithole down to the ground. With Cara inside? Burn it down with Castile in it? No, she's out at the moment trying to sell service she won't be able to offer. You see, our job is easy. We need to get in and destroy the server containing all the double spirit, research and walk out. No spectacle. No dramatic showdowns. No, I know exactly what you're going to say. But wait, Hope, if this data is so priceless, shouldn't she have external backups? Is Cara a complete dunce? Excellent questions, my neonate friend. The answer is yes. She's a dunce. But aside from her numerous negative qualities, she also has a positive one. She's totally paranoid. She used to be a naive dumbass who wouldn't even cover up her laptop camera. But she lost trust in all external companies after a little cyber espionage incident. She's obsessed with not uploading her precious data anywhere online. Now she only has one physical backup hidden deeper inside the headquarters. Nobody has an idea of where it might be, but I do. Normally I would never be able to reach the place. That was Bureau is like an underground base. The walls and doors are reinforced both against the living and the dead. But the answer to this problem is simple. We only need a Cara to land a support so that we can override all the security measures and get to the heart of the facility. What do you say, Cara? Will you help your girl out for old time's sake? I'll quickly write something down her phone. A few seconds later, a nearly perfect imitation of Cara Montgomery's voice escapes her speaker. You know it. Let's bash this bitch open. Wow, the sound quality is incredible and the voice sounds only the tiniest bit off. Whatever she paid for that tech, it was worth it. Oh, and if you're afraid of consequence from Camarilla, don't be. I'm assuming full responsibility and my ass is covered. I've got some favors to collect and to offer. Besides, Cara's a goddamn snake and everybody knows it. No important player will miss her influence. They were only tolerating her in case she hit it big with her tech. It's all about cash in abundance. Life's a bitch and then you die. Some parts sounds a tiny bit too robotic. Could there be a pattern here? Too bad she won't ever get a chance to succeed. So without further ado, shall we? Hope starts marching towards the revolving door. You close your eyes, make an effort to sharpen your sense and follow the Markavian into the lobby of Double Spirit building. There's only one sole security guard at the entrance. He raised your voice to ask about your business, but is stopped short by Hope's commanding voice. No need, we'll expect it. The man looks lost and disoriented for a moment. Then guessing his head slowly begins to turn, and he nods his head, silently opening a gate leading to the elevators. Hope heads inside one of those, and you follow. She presses a button, and the car starts heading to the lowest floor. Eventually, the doors open. Welcome to Cara Montgomery's deadly dungeon, Sarah Kimi. What appears before your eyes are dimly lit corridors of an IT office, empty and silent. The air is stiff and dusty, and there's a sharp, rotten stench in the air that you're unable to identify. The menacing atmosphere makes it hard to recognize at first. But this looks like an active workplace. It really is a dungeon, although a corporate one where people are cheated of life. You feel pain and anger. This is the real face of class warfare. These are the conditions people in power would offer us if they didn't feel a need to keep up appearance. First, let's just get to the first door and test my little Cara out. You follow her until you reach the end of the corridor. Then you encounter an expensive-looking reinforced door with voice controls on the side. Or push a button, and a robotic voice comes out of the speaker. Semiotics. Seriously, come on. Hope types the word into a phone and lets Brujah Cara repeat the password. The sound rings out. Reminiscent of Q's TV quiz shows used to let the contestant know he gave a wrong answer. Verification error. Let's try again. You give Hope a nervous look. She bites her lip and presses the button again. Hyperreal. Tap, 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 tap. Access granted. The door slowly opened. You notice your companion is wearing a sour expression. Looks like the tech isn't quite perfect. At least the password seems randomized, so we can try and brute force our way in, unless the system locks us out after a few failed attempts. She shakes her head and turns to you, her lips attempting to approximate a sincere smile. Well, we can only hope the data you've collected is enough into the beast mall we go. She marches into the room and you walk in right after her. The doors lock behind you with a loud thud. It's a wide open office. It would be as smoky as the corridor you just left it. If it wasn't for those monitors illuminating the space. A shadowy figure stares at every screen in the room. Cara's voice plays from Hope's speaker. Behold, this is where the magic happens. A family-driven force hungry for success, always taking bull by the horns, building a high-performance culture together. None of the figures raise their heads. They're too busy programming, organizing spreadsheets, and typing down endless strings of text. What's wrong with them? Or they like just a bunch of ghouls and whatnot, hardworking, conditioned, tireless, low maintenance, kind of dumb, perfect workers. Probably won't leave their seats unless we make them, but let's not. We've got more important things to do, like destroying a few years' worth of their work. The figures don't stop pounding away on their keyboards. In fact, they don't react to her words at all. Alrighty, so do we go straight to the server room, or do you want to check one of the side rooms first? Your call. I prefer to wrap things up here as fast as possible, but hey, little Cara is here with us thanks to the data you've gathered. You betcha. If you think you can use her voice for something useful, hey, feel free to do it. You look around thinking how to respond. Let's just move. No, this is your show. Let's just get out of here as fast as we can. I hear you, this way. You follow Hope out of the room. Another depressing corridor, reeking up who knows what. You expect Hope to walk to the very end again, but this time she stops halfway and starts mumbling under her nose. Wait, what's this door? Oh, don't tell me she moved things around. It looks like she has been here before. Not a surprise in itself, but she gives off impressions of a person who used to know the entire layout of the building very well. After a brief reflection, Hope approached a door a few feet away and pushed a button next to it. Apocalypse. Now that's cheering. Access granted. You walk inside. At the first glance, this office looks very similar to the last one you've seen. Rows of screen. Rows of silhouettes in front of them. However, Hope quickly spots the difference. Target confirmed, moving to the data room. There's a room with endless machine at the back of the open space. Hope walks in, takes out some hardware out of the bag she's carrying and begins the process of removing the data. Should have invested in SSDs, sis. Time to bust out my portable degaussers. She turns to you. This will take a good minute. I've got a few other tricks up my sleeve. If you find something that interests you, let me know. Should you wait close to her, I'll take a look around. I think I will look around a little bit. I found something interesting. Have fun. Be a god in heaven sign or what? You start walking around for a while, you notice nothing but errors that start popping up on the screens here and there. You go try to fight against them, but quickly realize futile and surrender. Eventually, you find a door with voice control. You call out to Hope. She pauses her work for a second and approaches you. This door, huh? Alright, let's give it a shot. You press the button. Kanoi and Cara. You watch over as Cara shows as she types down the password with an incredible speed into a homemade looking app. Then Cara's voice sounds out. Kanoi and Haya. Access denied. Press the button again. Kanoi and Kaya. No dice and back to work. Too bad you briefly wonder if you're to blame Shock and follow Hope to the entrance to the data room. Then you wait until her work is complete. A while passes. Finally, you hear a triumphant yell. Hold on, baby. Looks like those boys are finally going to get a break. You realize that constant silent rhythm of mechanical keyboards has stopped. The workers are all idling, slumped over their desks, completely resigned to the fact that the racing lecture has disappeared. Hope hurriedly collects her hardware and motions you to go after her. Alright, we're almost done now. We just need to cap the backups and we can get the hell away from here. You take a last glance at the ghouls and follow steps. Yet another corridor, hardly discernible from the previous ones. This is a giant underground complex. How much money Montgomery had to spend on it? Hope looks around, frowning, mumbling something indecipherable. Eventually, she points in front of her. Yeah, this is where she must keep the backups. It is a sturdy metal door, unlike any other in this building. Right next to it, however, is a vocal-based security system you know pretty well right now. Please, please, please. Just no last-second surprise. She hesitates to do it, but eventually, she pushes the button. Eternal Return. Hope dutifully types down the term on her phone. Access denied. Please try again. Hope hits on her nose. This time you push the button. Double spiral. Double spiral. You'll feel like the time has frozen, for whatever reason. It takes longer than usual for the speaker to deliver their verdict. Access granted. What a relief. The metal doors grinding loudly as they invite you in. This time you walk in first and Hope follows. Wait a minute. You recognize this place. It shouldn't be here, but there's no two ways about it. This is Hope's haven. Same bed, same decoration, same ambience. It's all a lot more dusty, but the backups are in the back. I'll just get to them. She seems a little sheepish as she approached the double spiral device and unpacks her own hardware to take care of them. You take in your surroundings. Care to explain? Would you mind explaining what's going on here? Both sides. What's there to explain? Just think a little. The first explanation that comes to your head will probably be the right conclusions. She looks at you as if she was about to add something, then bites her tongue and gets back to destroying her rival's life. She makes it after she doesn't want to re-examine the past. You rest yourself against the bed, quietly watching Hope's technological wizardry and wondering about her past relationship with Cara, for who knows how long. Every second you spend here, you become more impatient to get out. Eventually, the device surrounding double spiral backup start disappearing into the bag they were taken out of. Most like the process is nearing completion. You decide to approach the door before it does. However, before you even make a move, the door begins to make a grinding noise. You freeze up watching them open. Behind them stands the very person you were afraid would appear. That's the punk t-shirt you hoped you would avoid seeing tonight. Jesus fucking Christ almighty. Hope raised her head and their eyes meet, while their face momentarily turned to stone. Oh, you could read any emotion from their stares, and you were probably right. An unbearable tension fills the room as nobody wants to make the first move. Eventually, it's Hope who decides to break the stalemate by loudly pressing the enter button on her laptop and immediately dropping it into her bag. You doubt it's anything more than a provocation. The Malkavian letting her open the note she wants, but it works. The noise makes Montgomery snap out of her stupor. You psycho, you fucking demented, vindictive psycho. That turned sick with murderous intent. Hi. Hope pretends she hasn't noticed. Cara's bloodthirst becomes palpable. You were supposed to be on the other side of the city right now at the meeting. I am notified about every fair voice authentication attempt. I got back here expecting to find some idiot still trying to make their way through the front. She looks around, but I never expected. Just how? Hope reluctantly typed something down on her phone. I'm the CEO of Double Spiral and those writing my shit. Cara grimaced at the sound of her own voice and quickly connects the dots. You fucking gremlin. How did you get your hands on that kind of tech, even a company secret? Hope is provoking her, no two ways about it. Cara knows it, so she's trying to keep it cool. I built this paradise for you, for us, for yourself and nobody else. What happened to the Hope I used to know? She can't come to the phone right now, she's dead. I regret the day I let you into my life. Stop lying to yourself, Cara. You only regret the day you let me out of my life. Shouldn't have let your mask slip, honey. A snappish response almost escaped Cara's mouth, but she managed to stop herself before letting the discussion devolve into a childish spat. Just tell me there's a copy of my data you haven't ruined and I'll let you out of here alive. She gives you a hateful look, both of you. Hope tilts her head and flashes an evil ear-to-ear grin. Not a single bit of data remains. More than a decade of your work into the drain. Welcome to the worst night of your life since the .com crash, Miss Montgomery. Cara looks as if a stake was just driven through her heart. She starts collapsing, sliding down against the door like she was sinking deeper and deeper into her personal hell. Hope just stares at her torment, wearing an indecipherable expressions, waiting for her rival to reach the bottom. And she does. And there, at the lowest point of her life, she found something unexpected. I never ever wanted to do this. This is not me. Her voice sounds completely different. But if there's only one way out of this mess, I'm going to take it. I'm going to get my data back. Hope looks confused for a second, then understanding dawns on. Come on, Cara, you wouldn't dare. You started this game now. Accept your loss. The game isn't over until all players are out of moves, honey. Bearing your fans now. There's two of us against one, even if you commit the sin of diablerie. The last time something like this happened to me, I was ready to die. I think I'll take my chance. It's not like I haven't dreamed about feeling my fangs inside you for a long time. So, you want to give me this one victory? Proof once and for all that I was right. It was never about me. It was about all the stupid garbage in my head. A victory, please. Victories are material. They are like your little online arguments. She's serious about this, Sarah Kimi. She wants to devour me as a whole, sacrifice her humanity in exchange for access to my soul and everything I know. Say away, Sarah Kimmy, you want money, data, domain, privilege, position, and deposit, anything you want, you can get it if you just look the other way. Don't listen to this shit. The moment the prince finds out it's the final death for, and Cara runs, her moves resembling a beast more than human, immediately closing the distance to Hope. Then she jumps at the mouth cave-in, just like a wild animal hunting for her prey. Hope instinctively attempts to defend herself, but is immediately overwhelmed. Laying on the ground, she looks like a deer in the headlights. Cara, on the other hand, looks like a bear ready to maul its victim. If you want to react, you need to do it now. Celerity, separate them as fast as possible. You push yourself to the limit and let your powers take over. The world slows down, letting you run up to Cara and Hope in the blink of an eye. You immediately grab Montgomery by her clothes and attempt to grab her aside. However, the moment she recognizes your touch, she immediately attempts to swat you down. Despite your superhuman speed, she's still almost as quick as you. Her limbs keep wildly zooming towards your vital areas. You dodge every one of them, but each time feels like narrowly jumping out of the way of an oncoming truck. You back away, better try something different before she gets lucky and hits you. Okay, I guess we'll have to look around. Wait, there's no point in just rushing in blindly. Cast like a feral animal right now, you don't wrestle with those. You use tools to overwhelm them. You look at Hope's back, any other device that could help. No way in here, think harder. You look at the bed, the pillars, the canopy. Hooks hanging down from the ceiling. Bingo. You grab one of the hooks and yank the chain. It's long enough for your idea to work. You run up to Cara, who's about to maul Hope like a wild animal. Then you stab her with all your strength. The hook gets deep underneath her skin. Cara yells, but there's more surprise and pain in her voice. You quickly grab the chain around her a few times, and you step back and start pulling it with all your strength. Cara is taken by surprise, still not understanding what's going on. She loses her balance and gives her victim a chance to escape. Hope takes it, still dazed. She takes a second to understand the situation, but when she does, she runs up to you and starts pulling the chain with you. Ah! You would never handle her alone, but Hope displays surprising strength while pulling the chain. A minute later, she's hanging above the floor like a butcher's carcass. The end of the hook is stuck in her chest and is sinking deeper as she struggles. However, she's flailing so wildly, she might free herself before it puts her out of commissions. Ah! Use one hand to desperately search for something that can help you. Under the bed, Belle's hand cups a whip. A giant cattle prod. You have no time to be bemused. Put it to her head and turn it on. Ah! The device must be modified. The power current is so powerful it causes scaring almost immediately. She's getting weaker and weaker. It takes Cara a while to accept it, but eventually she does. Her body is seemingly lifeless, her head hanging down. She looks like a grotesque portrait of defeat. The hook must have reached her heart. It takes Hope a long time to collect herself. Eventually she manages to speak up. Guess we've gotten up to this point, huh? Just like Cara before, Hope starts to talk in a completely different way than she usually does. You have a bad feeling about this. You want to add data, my data to yours. You know I can't grant your wish, except not the way you have imagined it. Hope starts mumbling and circling around Cara. For the first time since you've met her, she acts like she didn't have a phone in her hand. This violent aura. The mouth cave-in looks deep into your eyes and she knows you know what she's attempting to do. You silently beg for her not to do it. It doesn't feel right. She makes her decisions. She smiles beautifully, and it feels purposefully fake. Be my witness, I haven't harmed. You left her here with me, and you have no idea what happened next. Her voice still changed from what you're used to. She's not having fun, she's driven by malice. I have disabled the security, so you're free to leave now. Call me whenever you need me. I'm a part of your coterie now, so I repay my debts or whatever. You give her a suspicious glare. It doesn't faze her though. I've still got some unfinished business here. She turns to Cara's listless body. A puppet is dangling sadly from a single string. It would be smart of you to leave. Her tones makes it clear she's not willing to discuss anything. Your relationship is strictly professional. You shrug your arms and head out the way you came from. The lights of New York welcome you above ground. See you soon, Hope. Hope you don't get into trouble. You try to celebrate a new addition to your coterie. The Cara's face appears before your eyes over and over again, making your victory bittersweet. So we're done with Hope. That's good. Somebody's watching me. I'm going to do this quest. Someone swirling you around has been for a few nights, maybe longer. That cannot be a good thing. The only question is what to do about it. I think I'm going to tell Sophie about it. This is clearly something more serious than what you can figure out on your own. You have to ask Sophie for help. She must have experience with all kinds of stalkers, invisible or not. You make your way to Sophie's apartment, feeling watched the whole way. It would be better if you could check the tail, but something tells you that's impossible. A ghoul lets you into Sophie's apartment. You're not sure how many servants she has, but their servility grips you at home. Does vampire blood do that to people, or it's just Sophie's personality? The ghoul tells you that Sophie's not in and begs you to wait in the living room. You just directed, settling down on the sofa. As you sit, contemplating Sophie's deck, you feel strange, as if the feeling of being fallen on the street never really left you. You don't have time to think more on this because Sophie strikes in clearly in a good mood. Isn't it? If it isn't my favorite trait, am I imagining it, or have you started to dress a little bit better? You stand up toward to waste time on small talk. I'm being followed. Some creep has been telling me for a few nights now, and I can't shake them. So you let them here. I appreciate your initiative. This is a cause for concern, to be sure. In fact, Sophie looks around the room, suddenly startled. I can't believe it. As Sophie stands up, ready to face whatever the danger she senses, an invisible force pushes aside her servant standing in the doorway. You hear the door to Sophie's apartment open and close. Sophie sighs and settles backs down into the ghoul who disappears into the hallway in a vain effort to catch the stalker. I suppose I should scold you, but in a town full of Malkavians and Nosferatu, that's probably useless. Sometimes this happens. This is embarrassing. You should be careful. I'll assign one of my servants to watch your haven. You leave Sophie's apartment, chastened and confused. If invisible Orlocks and Chester can follow you anywhere, how are you supposed to stop it? Perhaps it's all part of the game the kindred seems to play with each other. Hard to say if that makes it better or worse. Quadir Al Asmi, the sheriff of New York City, is knocking at the door to your haven. The sight comes as a more than a little shock. If he had business with you, you either expect him to see him already inside or never see him coming at all. Yet there he is on the other side of the people, patiently, politely waiting for you to let him in. You carefully unlock the door and face him in silence. Evening, may I come in? You simply stare at him. Your lack of answer doesn't face him, and your lack of resistance as he starts walking inside has obviously been interpreted as a permission. Once inside, he starts looking around as you cautiously stay by the door. Haven't really had time to make this place your own yet, have you? It feels like laying an apartment through and through. It's a closed study where nobody studies anything. Look at the books on the shelf. Obviously meant to impress a guest, not to be read. They reveal nothing about their owner. Aside from an aching desire to be taken seriously as an intellectual. He picks one of them up and smirks before putting it away. The phenomenology of spirit next to all this garbage poetry. One can make a bet. If she has read more than 20 pages, I owe you $50 and a gallon of blood. a kind of place self-professed hermits entune themselves into suffer. Considering how much you have to run around these nights, you probably will sit to shelter from the sun, rest night, and rest, right? Even though he's obviously making an effort to come off as non-threatening, it's impossible to forget that first impression he has made. You still see him as a fierce predator, trying hard not to expose his true colors. You sense a familiar fight or flight response as you struggle to find a diplomatic answer to his last question. If Coterador is bothered by your silence, he doesn't let it show. He keeps walking around, toying with whatever catches his eye. Eventually, he speaks up again. Watch any baseball lately? If I had to guess, you struck me as a Red Sox fan. Now he's inviting you to talk in a more direct manner. You attempt to overcome your physical reaction to him and reply as casual as you can. Your mind keeps going back to that night when everything has changed forever. Waking up in hell with a body next to you, spending a night in that underground sweatbox, unsure what's gonna happen next. That endless car ride, 3 strikes, a blood-thirsty crowd, that blade, a rebirth, a baptism by fire, a frightening executor who made sure the flames scare your spirit. As you look into his face, you realize he has read your emotions from yours. Not in the mood to exchange pleasantries. There's no animosity in his voice. He's just stating a fact. Let me get straight to the point then. He momentarily stops caring about his surroundings, turning all of his attention to you, and demanding the entirety of your attention in return. You see, there's something I realized over the years. In a large part, I may have been just a little menacing with this word. My job is all about seeing through bonds and relationships. Camarilla will be safe as long as its members adhere to certain social contracts, making their dealings and affinities plain for everyone to see, but that obviously remains a pipe dream. This is a community of born conspirators, overly ambitious gangsters and politicians, monsters in denial, all sorts of tragically broken individuals. They are driven by desires that make them incompatible with the Masquerade, incompatible with prolonged survival of the Camarilla, incompatible with the methods I used to operate. And so I am doomed to be like a cop, constantly insulted behind my back, and maybe for a good reason, but immediately call for help whenever someone loses their tableware. Like a Christie novel detective, I would be assisted by everyone, but constantly lied to about everyone's past and motivations, even when I fail to solve the mystery might be the end of us all. It tries to sound like he has peacefully resigned his fate, but it's easy to detect a tinge of regret in his voice, a voice belonging to someone who once had bigger ambitions than this. What broke him? So you see, for this detective, the why doing it is far more important than who done it or how done it. When you understand all the places in their mutual obligation, you easily understand every crime. And of course, the kindred know it, so they devise ways to make my job much harder, such as conspiracies between 2 unrelated actors that depend on scratching each other's backs for mutual security. Or they enforce a blood bond to make someone unexpected death roll. A boss serving the employee, a rebel serving the tyrant, just because one is regularly being forced to drink another blood. What has Sophie seen in them? Why does the prince keep asking me about your actions? How come you being pushed to build your own coteries so fast? You are surrounded by clear motivation you yourself don't understand. That unnerves me, and it should unnerve you as well. And what are your motivations? Finally, you manage to raise your voice. Cardi notices effort and smiles softly. So you haven't gone mute since the last time I saw you. Good. Well, I'm here for selfish reasons. I need to develop a rapport with you to fulfill my obligations better. The last time we've met, I couldn't see you as my equal. Now that you are accepted into Camarilla, what choice do I have? I would understand if you didn't want to see my face again, but I'm one of the face of New York City community, and as long as you're part of it, it's going to be impossible to avoid you. Especially when I have business with you. And I do, as you might have guessed by now, one of my tasks is uncovering and understanding your bonds, and one of them might endanger our community. Well, that's not menacing at all. What's this talking about? Someone from my coterie? You mean someone I'm trying to recruit into my coterie? Quite shakes his head. I'm monitoring them and they know it. If they're breaking the rules, they're doing it the right way. Meaning I haven't learned about it yet. Unless you might want to share something, a moment of awkward silence, joking mostly. Hey, producer 5 from underneath this code that passes to you. This is our troublemaker. You open the file and see some printed photos. You freeze up as you recognize the face, and are overwhelmed by a flood of repressed memories. Jessica, what the hell? Jessica Lower. The woman who made the last few years of your life heaven, and the last few weeks living hell. Since she took pretty much everyone you knew with her after the split, you thought the transition to this life would be painless, no baggage at all. Have you thought wrong? You look up at Cara, expecting answers. There are some unfortunate rumors that you have committed suicide after a massive breakup. So apparently, Miss Jessica here is desperately mobilizing everyone she knows to look for you. Turns out she has contacted a lot of people who might recognize you, including some in law enforcement agency. The risk of endangering us is relatively low, but far from non-existent, which means she must be stopped. It sounds threatening. You dread thinking what he's planning. I'll arrange for you to meet tomorrow so that you can straighten the situation out and say goodbye to the life you have for a second. He arranged what? Your eyes must look like saucers right now. Usually these matters are left in my discretion, and I can't think of an easy solution. The last ship reappears, takes care of unfinished business, disappears. Never to be seen again, nobody cares. It's simple, it's clean. No convinced schemes, no unnecessary items. And it gives me an opportunity to learn more about you as I watch out. When neonates interact with kind that used to hold their true nature is laid bare for everyone to see. Of course, God's business in being kind to you. Always making it clear he's got self-serving intentions so that you don't start figuring those out yourself. Any objections? Any alternatives are probably worse. You shake your head. Very well, I'll arrange a meeting and drive you there tomorrow. Better come up with a little bowl that is easy to swallow. He disappears from the apartment, leaving you as confused as the last time he closed the doors on you. God damn it, you need to think it through.